You know, when I'm thinking of the outdoors, first thing I think about is cobbler, Dutch oven cobbler. And when you're dealing with Thrive, it's so much easier. Fruit's already ready to go, it's light, you can backpack, you can put it on your horse, whatever you want to do. But right now, we're in the most beautiful country in Utah, and we are outside cooking Thrive. I can't think of anything better. If you are enjoying your vacations out in the great outdoors, make sure you take Thrive with you so you can actually see how easy and wonderful and also how delicious our food is when it's cooked in the great outdoors. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make a cobbler. This is a apricot, blackberry, and pear cobbler with cake and streusel. It's gonna be delicious. The first thing we're gonna do is take some butter into a nice hot pan. We're gonna toast our apricots up just lightly. Get a little bit of a toast right on those apricots. Just lightly, just get them in the butter, get them happy. Everybody's chilling. Then what you wanna do is not let them go too long, but you're gonna wanna add a little bit of the water now. 2.5 cups of water, or 2 cups of water. Then we're gonna add some sugar, a little bit windy, don't worry. A little bit of sugar right in that pot. And then we got our delicious freeze-dried pears. We've got our pears in there. Now, to give it a little bit of a twang to it, we're gonna add some of our freeze-dried blackberries. And look at these freeze-dried blackberries. Those are just bursting with joy right there. Delicious little treat. Add those blackberries right in there. They're gonna add a nice, delicious tart, but yet sweet. They're gonna give the sauce a nice color. Just a really delicious little sauce, okay? Now, I'm using a camp chef, but you could easily just put this right on your coals. You could put this in a smaller pan, whatever you want. We're gonna season our little sauce, fruit sauce here, with a pinch of cinnamon, because our moms did. And then we're going to add a little bit of our Thrive's salt and a little bit of vanilla powder. Oh, that vanilla powder is delicious. So, you don't have to worry about your vanilla sloshing around. It's powderized now, delicious. So we've got our syrup going right here. Got our delicious little treat. We've stirred this up nicely, making that a wonderful little treat. We're gonna let that simmer for a few minutes. Okay, after your fruit has simmered down and you've got a nice little syrupy consistency. Now you want it to be a little bit loose because it's still gonna cook and simmer as it bakes. So you don't want it to be really, really thick, syrupy. You just want it to be a little bit loose. And so I'm about there. It's pretty much perfect. So I'm gonna shut that down. Now we're gonna make the cake and the streusel. Now, when you're out in the outdoors, who wants to do dishes, right? So for the streusel, we're gonna actually mix the streusel right in a Ziploc bag. So we're gonna add Thrive white flour. We're gonna add Thrive brown sugar. Thrive oats, quick oats. Now look, these quick oats, good for your dessert, good for your breakfast, good for tons of things, good for your cookies. So if you don't buy our quick oats, you need to start, because that thing is awesome. Those quick oats are quick, fabulous. So, flour, brown sugar, quick oats, delicious way to start a streusel. A little bit of cinnamon, a little bit more of our vanilla powder. This is Thrive vanilla powder going right into the bag as well. And then last but certainly not least, what makes a streusel have that nice crunch and crisp, we're gonna add butter. Okay? Once you got everything in there, zip that up, get a little bit of the air out. Zip that up, then you're gonna mix all this together with the butter. Whoa, make sure it's zipped. Mix all that together with the butter until it becomes a nice crumbly streusel. Once you get your streusel mixed up, now you can make your cake. Just let that streusel do its thing. Just let it sit over there and dream about floating on the pond. So now to make the cake for this cobbler, very simple. we're gonna take a little bit of vegetable oil, not a lot, just a little bit. We're gonna take a little bit of soft or even melted butter. Whoa! Okay, then we're gonna take Thrive scrambled eggs, 2 tablespoons plus 4 tablespoons of water, right in there like so. And we're gonna whip this up. And because it's cobbler, it doesn't have to be the perfect cake method. You don't have to actually really do the creaming method and everything. It's not that big of a deal. It's cobbler. It can be a little bit unperfect, right? Because you're baking it in all that fruit love, fried fruit love that we just did. So now we're gonna add fried sugar to that. We're gonna mix all this up now. Boop. This is the KitchenAid outdoors. Boop. Okay, get that mixed in. Now we start adding all of our flavorings. So we've got baking powder, Thrive instant milk, a little bit of Thrive salt, and a little bit more of our vanilla powder, Thrive vanilla powder. So pretty much so far, besides the butter, we've pretty much added all Thrive, and mostly all Thrive in here as well. Boy, having Thrive in your life makes it pretty easy. So, now mix all those seasonings and flavorings in. Then we add the flour. 1.5 cups of flour. Once that's in there, mix that up. It's gonna be pretty thick. So when you're camping, you usually have a can of Mountain Dew, cream soda, root beer, something like that. Just pop a lid, put a little bit of that fuzz in there, a little bit in there, a little bit in there, and you're good to go. Once you get your cake mixed up, you're gonna wanna whip that, stir that up real well for about 60 seconds. Once you get your cake batter just right, oh baby, then you're ready to rock and roll. So now we just take a rubber spat, take our little syrupy love, our fruit concoction, and we very carefully just kind of spread the cake batter over the fruit very evenly, scraping it down. And you can do the cake batter, actually squeeze it in a Ziploc bag too if you don't want to do dishes. It'll work, you just got to squeeze a little bit more. Now we got to take our streusel topping, and that goes right on top as well. That's going to give you your nice little crunch, little sugary sweet top. Get it all out of there. Okay, good to go. Now take a look at that cobbler. It's ready to go. Once your cobbler is perfectly spread out and everything looks just wonderful and you seem to be thriving, put the lid on. Now let's talk a little bit about coals. For a 12-inch Dutch oven, you're gonna go with about 25 coals. You're gonna do about 9 on the bottom and about 16, yeah, do my math correctly, about 16 on the top. Now you definitely want more on the top, because when the top has heat on it, then you're going to be actually doing your baking, and you want to bake the cobbler. So we spread our coals out very evenly on the bottom to get about 9. Okay, and you want the heat on the outside of your Dutch oven. And I'm going to just put 2 in the center. That's it. Okay, I've got them even. I'm going to take my cobbler and I'm going to set that right over the coals in an even spot. Now you want to make sure your table is as level as you can get it so your cobbler doesn't bake unevenly. Yet that Dutch oven needs to be nice right into the center of that cobbler, so when it bakes nice and easy. Now you're going to put about 16, maybe even 18 of these nice gray coals right on the top of the Dutch oven, and you want to make sure you ring the top of the oven. So you put the coals right around the edge. The reason why is the coals are going to conduct against the cast iron. The cast iron is going to send heat energy around the oven, creating an oven, creating a convection style oven. So the heat is conducting around. Now you have this beautiful 350-degree oven that the cobbler can actually get sunbathed. So the cobbler's in the Dutch oven relaxing. Now it's getting warm. It's going to get caramelized and tan and delicious. You're going to take a big old fork and a big tub of ice cream. You're going to be in Thrive heaven in about 20 minutes. Delicious. So continue to ring the top. Add the charcoal right on there. So after you ring it, I'm going to set just a few coals around the middle because I want to get that caramelization. I want to get that streusel to caramelize, get a nice crispy crust on the top of that cobbler. So when you go in with your spoon, you crack that sugar layer, and that Thrive Berry Love comes out and oozes all over your bowl. You're gonna love it. So the cobbler's been going about 15 minutes, and we want to be able to check it and also quarter turn the lid for consistent cooking. So just take your lid lifter. We're gonna lightly lift this lid up, give it a little bit of a check, and already that is looking very, very delicious. It's not quite caramelized on the top, but you can see that it's cooking nicely. Now, the way the lid was put on is just like this. I'm going to take the lid and I'm going to give it a quarter of a turn. Okay? And in 5 more minutes, I'm going to quarter turn it again. That'll create good, even cooking. So say, actually, we have a wind coming from this side, so the wind's blowing. This is going to be a little bit of your cooler side where the heat's going to be pushed towards where the wind's pushing, so you're going to have a little bit more heat over here. So if you quarter turn that, it's going to help. Also, if your coals may be a little bit uneven cooking, if the wind's not blowing, then you want to quarter turn that so that hot spot continues to work itself around the cobbler. The whole art about Dutch oven cooking, especially with Thrive, is making a perfect caramelized, perfect evenly cooked cobbler. You control the heat. The coals and you are like this. Thrive is like this. Thank you for watching our video. If you like our video or want to subscribe, click below. If you want to watch another delicious video on how to cook Thrive foods, please select one of these. Thank you for watching.